Hi YouTube family, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to go through the garden, cut some herbs, and dry those to make some of the best gut-friendly tea. So if that's something you're interested in, then let's just jump right in. I'm starting off by harvesting some lavender. They have just bloomed and they are beautiful. So we're going to get those cut. We're going to cut from the stem, but not the woodsy part. And then I'm going to grab some chamomile as well. And I just cut those off the top and just let it keep growing. Put those in my little basket. Then there is a beautiful toad that has been hanging out in my garden who's our new friend. And Dragon is enjoying the garden time too. We're gonna pick a couple strawberries as well while we're out here because it has been doing so good this year. And of course, you know the dragon's gonna want a few. He gets his head in through those little fence posts and he will eat any that he can get to. And any he doesn't get to, usually the squirrels or the birds get to them first before me. So I was really excited that this particular day there were a couple that I got to eat. And you know, if I had some, then Dragon had to have some too. Excited about this haul. I got a few strawberries, none eaten by anybody, chamomile, spearmint, thyme, and lavender. Alright, and we are going to start off our tea by popping off the flower heads of the chamomile, and we're going to do the same to the lavender. For the thyme and the spearmint, we're going to pop those leaves off. And it can be time consuming, but it is very relaxing, so I suggest putting on some music, maybe some YouTube, maybe you're watching this while you do it. And we're gonna get those all in the bowl. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits of all of these because I called it a ultimate gut happy friendly kind of tea. And that is because chamomile is a stress reliever and it helps improve your sleep quality thanks to the antioxidant that binds to the brain receptors. It's an anti-inflammatory, much like all four of them. Most herbs are anti-inflammatories. This one's known to relax muscles. It relieves the gas and bloating. It can help control blood sugar. Lavender is also a stress reliever and it helps anxiety because it can lower your cortisol. And then, much like chamomile, it relaxes the muscles, but this one is more known to help with headaches. Thyme is a cough reliever. It's great to put in soups and stews as well as tea. It's a mood booster because it can boost dopamine and serotonin, so that's something you want to have every day. Spearmint can help balance hormones due to the androgenic effect, and it can soothe digestion, antioxidants, boost memory. So you're going to want all of these if you're somebody who struggles with digestion, gas, bloating, falling asleep at night. So this is definitely something I have every night before bed. And I promise you, even if you do not have a green thumb, these are some of the easiest plants to grow. Just do not put spearmint in the ground because it will grow a little too crazy, so keep that one in a pot. I've learned from experience. And then here I am just washing off some strawberries so I can eat them. And then I rinsed a couple of the leaves that I didn't really bother pulling too much off so that I made some fresh tea. So this was the first day, so I went ahead and made fresh tea because I had it. And then the next day, we are going to dry everything so that we can have tea for a few weeks, maybe even a few months. Okay, so I hung these up yesterday because I had to leave and I didn't want them to get all mushy laying down. And we're going to be drying them out anyway. So I'm going to pop all the leaves off and we're going to dehydrate them so we can use them for tea. Alright, and this is just same as before. We are just going to pop all of those flowers off and all the leaves off and put them into this bowl so we can dehydrate for later. And Dragon is always spying on the neighbors. Let me know if you got a pup too, and he is just always watching everybody, especially the squirrels. But I just love the way this looks in the bowl. But we still have so much more to do. But I got a dehydrator for Christmas from my mother-in-law a few years ago, and so we are going to use this one, and it works great. I take all the tops off and use closest to the bottom where the air is coming through, and then there's a little mesh plate so that the smaller pieces don't go through, so I'm putting that down on the very bottom. I'm spreading them out, and it kind of looks like they're really close together, but because it's so small, there is a little bit of space in between all these. And after I do this, I dry them off with a towel a little bit more since I had washed them in the sink or rinsed them in the sink. And I've also seen people just leave them in a bowl on their kitchen counter, dining room table, and they let them air dry. I am impatient, and also if I leave anything out, a lot of dog hair is going to get in it thanks to Dragon. So I like doing the speedy way. I've got the dehydrator, so we're going to use it. I'm going to do another layer. I don't have another mesh piece, but it's fine. If they fall through, they're going to fall onto that next mesh piece. So we're going to get those spread out, and I'm going to turn it on the lowest setting. And I do the lowest setting on this, which is 100 degrees, because we don't want to burn any of those nutrients out of there. And I started it and put it on 15 hours and went to bed with it on, but 8 hours later in the morning, they were dry and perfectly good to go. And it really is just as simple as that. The next morning, everything was dried, ready to go. I just poured everything onto a piece of parchment paper so it would be easier to slide into my mason jar. And I was actually surprised. I got almost a full mason jar out of this, and I didn't even cut out my whole garden yet. I just did a little batch. So that was really great. Once you do this, you will never want to go back to store-bought tea again. It's such a better value, such better quality. There's no pesticides, no chemicals, and you feel the satisfaction because you got to do it all yourself. So I'm just going to drop these down, and I love dried leaves. They just look so beautiful. So I do a little close-up here to show you guys because I want you to enjoy it as much as I do. All right, and now we have our tea made. We can have tea for days, weeks, months, and it was pretty simple. Didn't take too much time. But let me know if you want to start growing herbs, if you're going to make your own tea, if this was helpful in any way. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.